Hey Retro fans, welcome to another episode of Retro Gaming Memories. In this episode we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to look at something you can do using a Switch. Now the Switch is a great console. I do really like it, and there's a lot of retro support for the Switch, which is pretty cool. There's over 130 Neo Geo games, there's arcade classic stuff, Namco support it. And it also has lots of pinball stuff, and that's the reason for this video really. I'm currently building a virtual pinball machine, which is going to be PC based using Future Pinball and all that kind of stuff, and it's going to be I don't know what, a 32-inch playfield, that kind of thing. It's not going to be full size, it's kind of 3/4 size. But yeah, so I'm building that, and it's Future Pinball and all that, all great. And then I was watching, there's actually a Facebook group called, I think it's VPin MAME or Virtual Pinball Cabinet Builders or something like that. And one guy had posted up that he had built a cardboard pinball table using a Switch. I'll put a link in the description below, you can check it out. It's a really cool tutorial. And I thought, I wish I had thought about that before I started building this pinball cabinet. But what I'm actually going to do is dual wire it so that it'll work for both PC and Switch, depending on what input you select on the TV. But the whole thing, I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit here. The whole thing about the Switch is that if we stick to pinball for a minute, so I've fired up Zen Pinball 3 here, right? Let me just get a table. There we go. Let's load it up while we're talking. So the Switch, because it's a handheld device, that you can basically rotate the screen on it. So by default, I'm going to keep the sound down because you might get a copyright strike. So by default, it does that kind of thing, right? The standard. Let's see. So we kick it off, there we go. So that's your kind of standard view, your 3/4 view kind of thing. But cunningly, I think, is it on this one? Yes. If you press the minus button, you can actually rotate it. Do it that way, there you go. And if you press it again, it'll actually rotate it the other way, which is quite nice. So you can actually rotate it through all sorts of options, but if I do this one and put it in the cabinet mode, there you go. So you get a full screen pinball table, which is quite nice. And that also relates when you do the TV output. So what that means is if you hook this up to a TV and rotate it, and I'm going to show you this in a little minute, you can basically have a pinball cabinet output from your Switch. So you could build a virtual pinball cabinet using nothing more than a Switch, basically, which I think is really cool, because buying a PC that's powerful enough to run Future Pinball and all that kind of stuff smoothly, you need a decent graphics card, you need quite a lot of RAM, you need to then know how to set it up or find out how to set it up, which isn't that hard if you're familiar with MAME and all that kind of stuff, but it's still a bit of a pain downloading the tables and artwork and all that kind of gubbins. And occasionally, because it's people that have created these tables, if there are scripting issues, you need to be able to go in and tweak it and fix it. So there's a bit more work involved, whereas if you just use your Switch, you plug it in, you know it's going to work. The hardest bit is wiring up controls. And if you can play with a soldering iron, it shouldn't really be that hard. Worst case, you can just use the Joy-Cons, you don't actually need to put controls on it. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. But the other cool thing as well is, if let me just fire this up. So I have downloaded the Konami arcade classics. So there's a game called Typhoon, which is a vertical game, but is shown there in horizontal. And I'm pretty sure, where is it? There is a button here. There we go. Let's do it that way. So in the menu, you can rotate it. So again, if you had an arcade cab or pinball cab and you wanted vertical orientation games on there, you can do that. you can have a vertical for God's sake, a vertical arcade cabinet. So like if you've got the Namco classics and things like that, it's got I think it's got Galaga and Pac-Man and all that kind of stuff, which were vertical oriented monitors, whatever you want to say. So through the various bits on the Switch, there's SNK classics as well that you can get. There's quite a few. I can't quite remember all of them, but there's a lot of arcade classics. You can get the Atari Flashback and all that kind of stuff, which has got Centipede and all that kind of thing on it. So you could basically build yourself, get a TV, a nice TV, 32-inch or something like that, put it in portrait mode, and either just have it sitting there and do it with that, or you could build yourself a little cabinet, and you could have an arcade cabinet for basically not a lot of money, using a Switch, which I think is a fantastic thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera and all that, get it set up. I've got a TV sitting behind me that's hooked up to the Switch. We're going to dock the Switch, which you need to do obviously to put it out to your TV, and then we'll have a little play, and I'll show you these things in cabinet mode. I'll show you a couple of different pinball games, and a couple of arcadey things. So let's flip the camera and have a little look and see what we can do. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've got a 32-inch TV set up here in portrait mode, or landscape mode, whatever you want to like it. But obviously the one thing about this is the Switch still retains its sort of horizontal mode, even though the TV's turned, which is a bit of a shame, but it doesn't really matter too much. So what we've got is the normal Switch controller here. So I'm just trying to think the best way to do this, but you still have to go left and right. So if you're pulling it like this, you have to do it that way. It's a bit weird to get used to it. But if we have a look at Pinball FX, let me just watch the volume here, because we don't want any copyright strikes for noise and things. So we'll turn it down a little bit. Right, so this is upside down because I was playing with it earlier, but basically, like I say, if you hit the minus button, it will flick it for you. So there we go. So if we go to quick play or whatever, so obviously you would pick your table. I've got two tables in this. I haven't kind of done the collection yet, but as you can see, that's quite lovely. So if we press 8, start the game. So you pull that to do the thing, and then your buttons are the flippers. So, but you can basically, it's now in proper pinball table mode, which is really nice. Cabinet mode, I suppose, if you want to call it that. So yeah, some really nice tables in Zen Pinball. There's all sorts of cool stuff goes on. Oh, didn't get that ramp, but anyway, this isn't me playing pinball kind of video. But if we come out of that, I've also got Zachariah Pinball. Now Zachariah Pinball is pretty good. It's all right. The tables are kind of a lot older. Zachariah had a couple of no bad tables. I don't know if they were Brazilian. I can't quite remember. The tables weren't as well known as like Williams and Stern and all that kind of stuff. But if we log in anyway, so we can go to rotate screen, which is one of the options there. You can see it just here. So if we do that, there we go, put it into cabinet mode. So there was a special deal on, I don't know how long this will run if you fancy it, but for $1 or 99 pence, you could unlock 27 retro tables, which is what I've done here. So these are sort of EM, electromechanical tables, the kind of older 70s tables. But I quite like some of those, the simplicity of them. So there's lots and lots of options. But if we put it into this mode, come on, there we go. So this cabinet mode isn't quite as good as the others. Oops, and I'm terrible at it, clearly. But what you can do is if you catch the ball, So this one's just lots of bells and pings. Let's see if we can catch the ball. Stop it. I was trying to catch it so as we could play with the camera. There are different camera options on this one. Let's see if I can kill the ball and actually just catch it. Right, there we go. I can't remember. There's various HUD options. You can move things about. There we go, there's a camera. So you press, what is that? X. You press X to swap the cameras about. So you can try and find the best camera view for you. There we go. That looks like it should be full cabinet mode. I'm sure this still moves about though. It does to a little bit. And there may be an option to stop that kind of camera tilting about because you don't really need it. The one thing I do like about the Zachariah tables, and you can see it a little bit there, is the kind of reflection, the shadows off the lamps looks really nice. So this looks kind of more realistic than some of the other pinball stuff. And you can see there's like reflections of the back. Oh well, you could. There's reflections of the back glass and stuff up here, which is quite nice. So it's a lot more kind of realistic looking. Some of the tables are okay, some of them are not. So anyway, that's that one. We also have the Stern Pinball Arcade. Now this, if you buy all the tables in this from the online store, it can get really expensive, but they're selling the whole thing on Amazon just now. I think it's 18 quid and you get all the tables that's in this release. So this is your realistic tables, AC/DC, as you can see there, Star Trek, Ghostbusters, all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. When it eventually loads. There we go. So you get Frankenstein as a free table when you download this. The other ones are all locked. Come on. This one takes a little bit longer to load because it is, I don't know, it's proper tables. I don't know if there's a lot more going on. So there we go, you can rotate it. You can rotate it. There is a camera button. Can't remember what one it is. So it's, again, these are kind of emulation of real tables. The only thing that you don't get with this whole setup, the switch setup, is if you built a pinball table, there would be no back box. It would just need to be a static picture or whatever you wanted to do, because obviously they don't have back box graphics because it's only a single video output. But that's all good though. So there you go. This is pretty cool. So again, slightly different. It's not proper top-down cabinet mode, but it's all right. And if I go to the Arcade Classics, okay. So there's only a couple of vertical games in this. Scamble's a vertical game. So you can see, but yeah, in this one you go to display settings, display rotate, till you get the version that you want. Display ratio original. So I've got that's setting your scan lines. So there we go. So I mean, as you can see, this would be really nice as a kind of big arcade cabinet. I mean, it'd be really sweet, you know. Oh dear. Anyway, again, this isn't me playing these games. I've popped in the Namco arcade just to let you see that. These are all the kind of arcadey packs that I have. There is an SNK pack that's got like 27 games on it. There's quite a few vertical games on there, including what's in there? iCarry Warriors and all that kind of stuff. Okay, here we go then. The Namco Arcade Pack. Namco Museum. Let's just go for Galaga. So there's bound to be a way R for options. There we go, rotate screen. Oops. Press 8, rotate the screen by 90 degrees. And again. And again. There we go. There we go. That's rather lovely, isn't it? So I'm going to talk all over this so that we don't get any copyright strikes for any noise, but as you can see, and I absolutely suck at Galaga. I'm not actually watching what I'm doing either, but anyway, as you can see, this is a pretty sweet alternative, or viable alternative to building like a full arcade cabinet. You could quite happily have a pinball and arcade cabinet in one, with just laying a telly on its side like this, which is pretty sweet. And I wish I'd thought about it before I started doing all sorts of stuff with PCs and everything. Anyway, this is going to do it because like I say, I suck at playing Galaga. Galaxian is my game, but yeah, I'll link to the video that I watched about the cardboard thing, which is pretty good because the guy's got swappable controls between pinball and arcade, which is nice, and it's a good tutorial on what you can kind of do. So anyway, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching. I hope this was informative and useful, and I shall see you next time. Bye.